my audience back up, man. I told you that a couple times. I used to have a nice live audience, but I quit doing lives for a while, and like, it doesn't take long, man. Quit doing live shows for a month or so, and they just drop right off. So that's why I'm always asking you to do shows and stuff. I'm trying to build it back up. So thanks for coming.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to talk about kind of what we were talking about earlier, and that is I call it, as a Christian, the Great Tribulation is at hand. You, as a secular person, might call it the shit is popping off soon, or like whenever it's going to happen. But I think the world, I mean, well, there's no thinking. It's for sure. The world is a very tense place right now, you got to admit.
Well, without a doubt, and a lot of people, they're missing a word when they're talking about the end of the world. It's the end of our world. Roach is
Yeah.
still gonna roach. Things gonna continue, even if we all blow each other up.
Yeah, that's right. Cockroaches are pretty hard to kill off the planet, aren't they? So I just the reason I bring this up, and my channel when I first started was all about end time signs and eschatology, which is, the people that don't know, the study of biblical end times prophecy and stuff. And I was super into eschatology. That's how I was popular when my videos used to get tons of views, right? Like hundreds of thousands of views. All my videos before the policy changes, they were all end times videos, end times news and stuff. But like, I kind of leaned a little away from it because I started thinking like I wasn't really preaching what I was believing myself, because like I didn't see anything really unfolding, and like I didn't want to be like one of these crazy people that thinks, that keeps going, the end is near, the end is coming, But that being said, I've recently started to get back into the end times news videos and stuff, because I honestly do feel now that we're at a time where if we're not in the end times yet, it's at least the birth pains, which are talked about in the Bible. Like, geez, it says in the Bible that no one will know the exact time or hour when the end is going to come. A lot of people like to bring that up and go, oh, no one knows, like all the naysayers, no one knows, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? It's like, well, that's true. But Jesus told us, then gives us signs of when the season will be. He gives us warnings of what's going to take place before the end. So he does tell us like what to look for, and he does tell us when the season is going to be, or the birth pains, if you will. Now that, if you don't know, that is those famous Bible verses in Matthew, I believe, where he says there will be wars and rumors of wars. Nation shall rise against nation. There will be earthquakes in diverse places, famines, floods, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm sure you've heard that before, hey, Wrangler?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
They're going to be horses.
yeah, the horsemen of the apocalypse or whatever, but that's a kind of a different thing than what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about his warnings. Yeah, the signs, exactly. The signs before the end, like the warning signs of the season of the end. So like you could say like, yeah, there's always been wars and rumors of wars throughout history, and that's true, right? For as long as men have been on the earth, there's been wars. But right now, bro, right now, things are tense. It's like the analogy I use, Wrangler, is like a rubber band that's being stretched out. It can only stretch out a certain length, right, before it snaps.
Oh, okay. And so the things that would make the rubber band snap are, you gave some good options there: famine, flooding, war. We've had instances in the back past where we were able to, farming techniques, for example, have changed a lot to where what would have been an issue for the number of people we had no longer became such an issue. Like all of these things are cumulative to where someone gets to a point to where we kill ourselves. I can kind of see that being a thing where somebody just gets so stressed on the button that they do it.
Sure. Well, the reason I say this now, the reason I say I started making these end times videos again recently is because I am starting to believe we could be getting close, because I was brought up some of this up in the Discord, and that is, we've never really experienced a time like this before, not only with the wars, which there are many, like We have, okay, let's think about it for a sec, guys. We have Russia. And before I say anything about Russia, I love Putin. I'm a huge Vladimir Putin fan. I'm not saying nothing bad about the guy, but unfortunately, the West and the States are enemies with Russia. So we have Russia starting to pop off. They're at war with Ukraine, and that's a very unstable region. Like, who knows what could happen in there? They have nuclear weapons. I've seen, Wrangling, the West lies to people so much. The liberal media is, some people are so stupid. I read comments on some of these YouTube videos about Russia, and some of these people are commenting and they're like, yeah, like most of Russia's nuclear arsenal doesn't even work. It's like, where are you, how do you know that, first of all? And like, why would you think something is so stupid?
It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that the code is probably all zeros like ours were up until just recently.
Yeah, well, they literally think that all of their nukes are from the Cold War era and none of them even work anymore. And it's like, dude, you're literally just talking out of your ass. Like, do you really think Putin is that stupid that he doesn't have people on that, making sure they're up to date, making sure these things are ready to go? You think he just lets them rot in some hole in the ground? Like, no, dude, not at all. Did you know that Russia is the only other country almost in the world, I think, that has an early guidance warning system for nuclear missiles? The United States and Russia are like the only two countries that have that. So Russia is not. None of Europe has that, bro. Russia is not like some barbaric Stone Age nation. I'm very certain that their nuclear weapons work just fine.
I have no doubt of that either. Not all of them are just cutely wrestling with bears.
Yeah, for sure.
Those bears eventually get big and they wrestle with them.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I like Russia. I really do. And I like Putin a lot. Like Noah was trying to make him look like a bad guy for something about the Quran. What did he say? It was, oh, he made it illegal to destroy a Quran. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, no, not my man Putin. I liked him. But then when you look into it, he actually made it illegal to destroy any holy books, whether they be Muslim, whether it be the Quran, the Bible, any sacred holy books. Putin outlawed people destroying them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like that a lot. It's just another thing I like about him.
You can't be respectful to each other. None of you can have a Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. So, okay, we were talking about Russia. Okay, we got Russia, right? They're popping off right now. And unfortunately, the States and Canada, because we do everything the States does, and the UK, they're not down with Russia. They would side against Russia, and they have been siding against Russia. Like, this isn't really a war, and I agree with him 100%. He's not fighting a war against Ukraine. He's been fighting a war against NATO the whole time. The whole time. He's been secretly fighting a war against NATO. Has been supplying Ukraine with everything, bro. If Ukraine didn't have them, then the war would have been over like within days. So Putin is actually going up against NATO. Like, it might not be a full-on attack from them, but everything is being supplied to Ukraine, to Zelensky, through all the Western allies. Okay, so you got Russia, and then you have North Korea. North Korea is friends with Russia. North Korea, I don't have love for Kim Jong-un. No love like I do for Putin. I think Kim Jong-un is a terrible person. Like 95% of the country is starving and dying, and like he lives in luxury, and few select people that are high up in the government have a decent life, but it's not even decent because it's so weird there, bro. Like, there's no internet allowed. Like, if you have a computer, you have to tell the police, and they come and like check it every month, check the whole hard drive, and there's like this crazy spyware installed on your computer that randomly takes screenshots of what you're doing, and you never know when it happens, and it like sends it to some place or keeps on some secret drive, and then like once or twice a month the police will come and like check your computer, and there's like this weird like state-run internet that has like 30 built-in websites, and it's all just like government propaganda. Like, he is such a horrible person, man. Like, I have no, unless I'm completely wrong, I could be just brainwashed by the left and the West, but pretty sure that I'm not that wrong about Kim Jong.
They all have pictures of dear leader in their house, and there are recording devices everywhere. No, you're
Yeah,
correct.
and the North Korean prison camps are brutal, and people are starving to death all over the place, and they spend so much money on their military. I got no love for that place. So there's North Korea, Russia. We got to worry about them popping off right now, and not only that, China. So the big bad three, right? The big bad main three: North Korea, Russia, and China are all super volatile right now, right? There's always stuff happening in the South China Sea. They want to take over Taiwan. The Philippines and China were going at it the other day, crashing ships into each other. So you got those three powerhouses that will. The scary thing about them is they're going to side with each other, and it would be, and then, right? Those three, okay, that's bad enough, right, Wrangler? Then we turn our attention to the Middle East, and like before we get into like all the other countries like Egypt and Gaza and all that, you have Iran, which is like one of the main powerhouses of the Middle East. And although they're not nuclear, they have a huge military. And the thing is, Iran is going to side with North Korea and Russia and China. If anything ever popped off, Iran would definitely side with them. Okay. And I know you guys have a super powerful military, but the way things are going and the way Biden has left the military stockpile, like, have you heard, living in the States, have you heard that the military is actually, the United States Army is running out of ammunition right now?
How are they possibly running out? You make more.
Biden depleted the stockpiles so bad. He gave all your weapons and all your ammo over to places like Russia, Zelensky in Ukraine, and didn't stock them up after that. They're like running out. And I can actually bring this up. I did a report on it the other day. So let's see. I'll have to go back a couple days here. I'm just looking for it right now. Stay with me here. Stick with me. You can go ahead. If you've got something to say, go ahead while I find this article.
Well, I absolutely believe you. Like, part of the deal was we give them our old shit and then we make new shit.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Right here. I found it. Okay. Let me bring this up. It's from RT News. Okay. So it says U.S. running out of ammo. The Republican president nominee has claimed that Washington's stocks have been emptied of all of our ammunition to arm Kiev. The military is running out of ammunition because President Biden's administration has bled stockpiles dry to arm Ukraine and other nations. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump has claimed. So this is coming from Trump. He hasn't really.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. The GOP firebrand has pledged to turn the tide, make a historic investment in rebuilding the American military if elected. Speaking by phone to Ukrainians Vladimir Zelensky last month, Trump reiterated his long-standing promise to swiftly end the conflict. So yeah, that just, like, who knows how true it is, but I mean, we do know that they're sending mad stockpiles over to Zelensky and Ukraine. So with all that being said, if China and Iran and Russia and North Korea were all to attack the United States right now, I think you guys would have a really hard time defending yourselves. I
Well,
don't think
what would
I don't think you'd
happen?
win. I don't think you would win. You
What
guys
would
couldn't even
happen?
win in you couldn't even win in Afghanistan. It took like 20 years.
Well, that wasn't supposed to be a one situation. That was supposed to be having a bunch of brown people shaking the stick at us so we can take away more of our own rights.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, that's not about a winning thing. Like, when it was us against the Nazis, we went into a quote unquote wartime economy.
Yeah, that was a different time in history, bro. That was when we had great leaders like Winston Churchill and people. It's a whole different, weird, woke, Western game nowadays, bro. Like in World War II, guess who else? Guess who pretty much won that war and helped big time? The Russians, dude. And they're not on our side anymore. So that's, you can't really compare that.
Well,
Russia had a massive role in winning World War II.
Well, I mean, you absolutely can make comparisons. Like, we haven't swapped over. All right. So, the people who are charismatically involved in the system on the front end of things aren't the same people that would be showing up the moment it got serious. Like,
Okay.
you notice that they're literally showing you the clown show.
What do you mean?
Like, all of these people look super fucking inept and they look corrupt, and it looks like money is the thing that all pulls them together. But
Yeah.
these aren't really our warmongers.
Well, those are the people that appoint the generals and the military leaders, though.
Exactly. And those are the warmongers. Those
Don't.
are the people who essentially come in because they're like, all right, do whatever you want.
Yeah, but like, don't you? I just personally would not feel very safe if, let's just say, for some strange, stupid reason, Kamala Harris became president. I would
I
not
don't
feel.
feel safe now.
I would not feel safe with her war cabinet that she chooses to protect the United States. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, wouldn't she? All right. So the one thing that I have as a criticism of Kamala Harris is she represents the military industrial complex and the police state.
Okay.
So like I don't think the people that she'd pick would be friendly or nice.
Kamala Harris, you think, represents the military industrial complex?
And the police state. We
Well,
need we need to give more power to more soldiers and more cops, and we need to take more control over the system as a whole.
isn't she like the craziest liberal like that's ever existed? Like, wasn't she in BLM and Antifa? Like, wasn't she responsible for freeing like tons of super dangerous criminals just because they were black? I know she's always flip flopping around and everything. That's the thing about her that I don't get. She's like totally like against cops and everything, and then first she used to be a prosecutor, then she's not. Oh, she's terrible, 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 terrible.
Ultimately, if I believe if she was given power, she'd go authoritarian, or at least that's the end of the horseshoe she'd be on.
Probably, even if she's just pretending to be all libbed out right now to get all the tranny votes and everything.
But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, where they're giving you the nice clown show face
Gotcha,
and making you think everything's okay, but then they're secretly representing the cops.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so that's a lot though to deal with, right? Already we brought up all those four countries, but we didn't even bring up like the Middle East that's happening right now. So this is another reason why I feel like um the tribulation is coming, okay? Because the biblical tribulation, yeah, it's we know that it's the sorry, Battle of the Armageddon. The Antichrist is going to come. The third temple is going to be built, but there's going to be armies, right? People don't realize like there's going to be armies that are on the side of the Antichrist that have been fooled. And I think a lot of those armies are like we're talking about Gog and Magog, a lot of the Muslims, pretty much all of the Islamic world, the Islamic Caliphate, because they don't believe in Christ. They think he's just a prophet, so they're not going to accept his coming at all. So they'll be like a different military against us. And the Middle East is popping off hard right now, right? You got Israel, and they've been going at it with Gaza, with Hamas for a while. But as you know, Egypt is getting involved now, and Iran, and they're saying that Iran. They're now saying that I think it was Iran. Yeah, Iran is what I heard. They're now saying that Iran is like responsible for the October 7th attack. That not saying they're directly responsible, but they're saying that Iran has like aided and abetted and helped all these people get in on October 7th and do what they did. Like basically Iran like financed it. So they're starting to point the finger at Iran like that. Uh, it seems like the U.S. really wants to go at it with Iran. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure. I know at least how it was. It was Iraq, Iraq, Iran.
Yeah.
But
Well, Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, what is the ultimate intent?
I don't know. I heard rumors that United States wants their oil, but I don't know if that's true. But apparently, they want to get in there like they did in Libya and Kuwait, and take control of Iran's oil and whatever else they got. But like, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well,
Um,
if you have them using the American dollar, you already have their oil.
I think the U.S. I don't know what just got the U.S. dollar used to be backed. Um, I forget what it was. I think it was which country was it that they just ended that. The U.S. dollar is no longer the backing dollar for one of those major things.
I know that for a long time it was the OPEC people that weren't using the dollar, and that was what was getting them in trouble.
Yeah. So, what was I talking about? Iran, Iraq. Yeah, the Middle East is super volatile right now. You got a lot, obviously, since October 7th. What happened was horrible, but it's all of these other countries are getting involved now, as you notice. You got the Houthis, the States is attacking them. They're coming out and like attacking shipping lanes and everything. And what was it? Iran got angry, or was it Egypt? One of the countries got angry that Israel went in there. I think it was Iran. Israel went in there and did a mission without telling them, and killed a bunch of the Hezbollah, or sorry, the Hamas leaders. But anyway, this country's super choked about it, and they want to retaliate. And I just see like a lot of stuff popping up. There's a lot of countries, more than I remember growing up. Like I think the world is really close right now. Like I made the analogy of a rubber band being stretched out, and you can only stretch it out so far before it snaps. I think the rubber band is ready to snap, bro. I really do.
Well, it could. Yeah, absolutely. Like, the one thing that's a recurring thing is that every generation believes, oh God, the rubber band's about to snap. The end time is tomorrow. Let's write up signs and hang out on the freeway.
Yeah.
And I had always attributed it to them feeling self-important because they need that to be important. It has to be real. It has to be a thing, and because it's alive, it has to be during their time.
But then you also have like so much other stuff going on our home soil too, which I was talking about. Like you have this crazy political thing going on right now, which is one of like the most significant political events that has happened in the United States for a long time, if you ask me. This Trump and Kamala thing. And you have like riots going on. You have all this crazy LGBT pride stuff getting into schools and people protesting against that. You have all these crazy Gen Z protesters that don't even know their head from their asshole, protesting about Palestine, save Palestine. And
Oh
and then
God, and
you
they're so ugly. There's so many colors.
yeah, it's bad. And then you have stuff like this happening all around the world. This is a report from a few days ago that says Germany is no longer safe. Police union chairman warns the greatest danger comes from Islamicists. And yeah, Germany is no longer safe as left wing open border policies have unleashed a wave of Islamic violence, leaving the country to face a grim new reality. Germany is facing a new and grim reality. The country is no longer safe. The blunt warning comes from conservative politician, former deputy, whatever, who's no longer staying silent in the face of left wing government lies and whitewashing of the Islamic threat. It's true, though. It's not only Germany, dude. It's everywhere. You should see what's going on in the UK. There's crazy riots in England and stuff right now because of this, too. All the crazy immigrants, dude, that the left has brought here. It's like and not only immigrants, a lot of them are illegal immigrants, and they come from like violent backgrounds, and people don't understand that like these Islamicists, as they're called, it's not good. Like they don't have very good intentions, especially to Christians and Jewish people. They really don't. So I don't understand like why so many of them are being brought over. But you have that happening as long as well as all the other wars and rumors of wars. And everything's just super tense right now, Wrangler. I think the world is a very tense place right now.
I don't understand why they want fucking war-torn Muslims specifically in the UK.
I don't know, but there's a lot of them, and there's been a lot of them for a long time there. There's entire neighborhoods in England called no-go zones, where like you can't even walk down the street if you're not a Muslim. And they're like no-go zones. The cops won't even go there. They'll blame you for being there. It just happened recently, actually. Some
Oh,
person was like seriously assaulted really bad by a huge group of Muslims, and they like called the English version of 911, whatever it is, and the English cops were like giving them shit for being in quote their neighborhood, as they put it. How messed up is that?
no, that's pretty fucked up. Like, that's as bad as the gangs out here.
Yep. Except these people are telling you you can't even go in that neighborhood unless because you're not a Muslim.
Well,
And
I
it's like
mean,
this is
over
England. This is
here,
supposed to be England.
they can't go into those places because they're not Crips.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But I mean, these people are supposed to be religious and holy, and it's supposed to be a religion of peace. And a lot of them say it's the same God and all this. But no, dude, there's no-go Christian neighborhoods. That's for sure.
I've never heard of that as a thing. No.
You can't go through this certain neighborhood unless you're a Christian, bro. Or we'll come out here and and we'll evangelize to you.
We'll baptize you. You'll be so
Yeah,
wet with the love of Christ.
yeah, exactly. We'll baptize you with fire, boy, if you come through this neighborhood. No, there's none of that in Christian neighborhoods. So, and there's a lot of crazy riots and stuff going on in Germany. If you guys go on like different social media, TikTok or whatever, you'll see the police there every day in full riot gear. They don't put up with it anymore. They just tear gas them, taser them. The cops are brutal over there. There's like soy boys like protesting for Palestine, and like the cops just come up and club them and like drag them off. They're all screaming at them and stuff.
Well, they
So
ain't got no guns, so they're gonna get a clubbing.
it's so funny watching the German police do that. Just reminds you so much of like World War II era government in Germany.
They never got
Uh,
their sense of humor back after that.
oh, and they do things like unleash German shepherds on the crowd, but they leave the muzzle on the dog, but they just like take off the leash and just let it go crazy. It's funny. I was watching it on TikTok.
Well, shit, that's at least fair.
I
Not
left
giving
a
them food.
comment. I left a comment. I was like, oh, why is the dog muzzled? It was like running like full speed, and all these protesters just grabbing them and like throwing them to the ground. They're still so violent with the muzzle on. It's crazy.
If they're in Germany, are they just regular shepherds?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so. Yeah, man. So I don't know. What else, bro? What else you saying?
I don't know. There are a lot of issues if you think you're a regular person and you're dealing with somebody who thinks that it is the end of the world. Because like they get confused and they get worried and they do a bunch of really rash shit usually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not like that crazy. I'm not going to be out there with a sign going, the end is nigh, the end is nigh, and like ringing a bell or anything.
I would probably be out there, but the sign would be the opposite. You're stuck here.
You're stuck here. Oh, man. Let's see. There's not really many people watching. Diane's here. Hello, Diane. She says it's been a very long plan to bring down American and bring in the global reset known as the New World Order. Yeah, NWO. Yeah. Been a while since I heard about that, but yeah, I guess it has been a plan. They've been saying that for a while. That's what I mean. Like I almost just like I heard about the New World Order and all this like so long ago, man. Like over 20 years ago at least. I just like got sick and tired of hearing about it. It just wasn't happening, and it was like kept changing it to like Agenda 21 and then Agenda 2023, and now it's supposed to be Agenda 2028 because like it doesn't happen. So they just keep changing it. So like I got sick of hearing about it, but that's what I'm saying. Like nowadays, has like all this stuff is starting to pop off in the Middle East, North Korea, China, at home with all the weird woke people and protests. I'm starting to feel like, this plan is maybe starting to come to fruition a bit. I don't know. There's definitely.
Come on now. A situation where you have a one world religion and a one world system, including currency and intertravel. That's not happening. Come on now.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard sell, I gotta say. It would definitely take a lot to get a one world religion and a one world currency. It would take a lot of work, like for sure.
And I honestly think if we were all working towards the exact same direction, the system would break anyway.
Yeah, we should do a show next time on the NWO. We could talk about that
Negroes
forever.
with attitude.
No,
Oh
you know what I'm talking about.
wait.
The New World Order. We should do that next time because we could talk about that like for a long time and have go off on like crazy rabbit holes and stuff.
Right, and I suspect we'd get more people interacting.
Yeah, me too, bro. Yeah, let's set up the next show for the New World Order. See if Noah will come. We'll try and get some other people coming. That would be a good show. Because you're totally right. Like, it would be so hard to have that happen. You would have to have like a global reset, like they talk about. You would literally have to have every single country just completely be obliterated, and just like those who did manage to survive, they could like hatch out, what they wanted pretty
You
much.
know how I was talking about earlier about the idea that we've gotten to a technological point several times to where we blew ourselves out, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember you saying that.
Well, this would be one of those situations where even if they were blown out, it would take so much time, money, and resources that the fourth person down the line wouldn't even know what they were doing, and it would defeat any given purpose, and you'd get like we are now.
Is that what you're saying, that we were like advancing in technology throughout the years and we just blew ourselves up and started over?
I believe that's totally possible.
Imagine that.
If
We've This is
we're
like the fifth or this is like the 100th time we've tried to do it. It's been the year 2023 like 100 times before. Sorry, 2024.
Yeah, and if you allow the concept of time spanning infinitely in both directions, you get situations like that.
That would be so weird. We get to like a certain point in our technological advancement, and then like AI or something takes over and everything just dies, and we like start over.
Uh-huh, and then maybe there were a couple of people in their cave shelters,
Yeah.
and and that's literally all of the culture that we have left. You can't tell me that's going to be the grand unifying influence.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I bet you the government, like all these crazy billionaires, they probably have like cities under the ground that we don't know about.
Oh, absolutely. I have
Just
no doubt about that.
Oh, that reminds me. Do you hear about that asteroid that's coming near Earth? It's like 700 feet across. It's coming to within 600,000 miles of the planet. So that's like 2.5 times away of the moon. That's real close, real close. All it
I,
takes is like a slight little variation in its course, and we're done. Well,
well,
not the
I,
whole world.
I'm hoping it doesn't trigger another Haley's Bob comet incident.
Yeah, yeah. Why? We'll get some new cults out of it. Some more stuff to talk about.
Well, they're going to be real upset when it passes by and everything's fine. Someone's going
Yeah,
to be pissed.
it's bigger than a 60-story building, and it's traveling almost 30,000 miles an hour. So
We could be
uh,
mining that, Nick.
imagine if that sucker slammed into New York City, right in the middle. uh,
It,
yeah,
it'd be a little bit like Mount St. Helens going off.
yeah. It's maybe more than that. I wonder what that would be.
Well, I mean, it would be ash in the sky, damage for hundreds of miles around in each direction, not
Yeah, that'd be
people not
crazy.
being able to breathe.
You think it'd be big enough? 60-story building, something that size coming at you at 25, 30,000 miles an hour. You think that'd be big enough to take out that much to do that much damage?
I There would be no more New York.
You think so, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, if it hit just right in the center, and then it was. I get it. There's a certain amount of speed that you get when you enter the atmosphere. You know, terminal velocity. You can't get any faster than that. But think about all of that raw kinetic energy being delivered just flat.
Oh yeah, it'd be coming at us real hard. That's for sure. Yeah, that would I don't know, it'd be a pretty good way to die though. If you were right in the middle of it. You wouldn't feel anything. No pain at all. You'd just be gone. And like everybody has to die anyway, right? So why not be underneath the giant asteroid when it hits the earth? Like why not? Do you want to die like slowly in a hospital bed, just like in so much pain, like suffering?
Or do
Crap.
you want to be immediately atomized and be done with it?
Exactly. So like if you gotta go anyway, I mean it would be a definitely a once in a lifetime event to witness something like that. You're not gonna get another chance. Uh yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy, bro. That's coming soon, guys. I don't know when it's coming. Let me bring it up for you. Um, I'll show you. I'm not saying it's going to hit the planet. Don't get me wrong. It's coming within 600,000 miles.
There was a
But,
TV show that had a premise kind of like that, but it was a toilet that fell from space and landed on a chick.
oh, yeah.
And then, like, because of the way that she died, she couldn't necessarily die and go to the next place. So she ended up being a reaper,
Oh,
just going and collecting people and trying to touch them right before they died, usually getting torn
Christ.
up by a bear or wood chipper, something like that.
Right on. So here it is, bro. This is from my main site here, thetimesofindia.com. 720-foot huge asteroid approaching Earth at high speed. NASA has issued an alert about a 720-foot asteroid named 2024 ON, which is approaching Earth at 25,000 miles per hour. The asteroid expected to make its closest approach on September 15th, 2024. Will pass within approximately 620,000 miles of Earth, or 2.5 times the distance of the moon, which in space terms is like so close that it's like right on top of you, dude. Like you don't like that is so close, dude.
So I went and I looked up how big the supposed meteor that hit Earth was that killed the dinosaurs.
All right.
About 10 kilometers across, no, in diameter.
Oh yeah.
Diameter.
Yeah, that was a big one. A lot bigger than this.
Well, that
Seven.
one was definitely able to cause enough destruction that it created a entire change in evolutionary lines where supposedly warm-blooded creatures had the benefit.
Yeah. This one is as big as as tall as a 60-story building. So it's definitely not 10 kilometers across, but it's pretty big, dude. We need to really be on this stuff, dude. Like they need to build I don't they need to really seriously start thinking about some kind of a planetary defense system. Like what do they even like there's nothing we can even do. If an asteroid was coming at us, even if they could see it coming from months away, what would they do if it was that big? They couldn't do anything. They would just
I,
give all the rich people time to get to their underground bunkers.
well, if it were like the movies, they'd send astronauts with explosives.
No, if it were like the movies, they'd go get freaking. They'd go and they would get Bruce Willis, and they would bring him up there, and he would save us.
You see, and we could always do that. We still have a Bruce Willis.
We do. He may be old and have Alzheimer's, but they could just give him some pills and send him up there. Oh man, we need Bruce. We drill. They need the best oil riggers in the world. That's what they could do. They'd go to Alberta, Canada, and find the oil riggers, the rig pigs, bring them up there. Maybe get a couple from Texas. Yeah. All right, bro. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna eat my dinner now. So thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. Let's set up an NWO show. All right.
Right on, Nick.
I'll set it up. When should I set it up?
Uh,
When are you available? Like, do you work in the day or like what?
I've had like the last week off,
Okay.
but what about day after tomorrow?
Sounds good. I'll set it up for tomorrow is what, Tuesday? Okay. I'll set it up for Wednesday, bro.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless. Come to our New World Order show on Wednesday. Have a good night. Bye,
Whoop,
guys.
whoop.
Thanks, bro.